Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 312 and we're here live in Southwest Florida waiting on the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees to the east, and this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me. If it doesn't look cold out here, that is an illusion with the camera. It's really cold here this morning. It's about 50 degrees and windy and very damp, which is why I have my big old Michigan parka on and a cozy warm scarf. If you're joining me live, please say hello and let me know what you're crafting on this morning. Hi Sherry, Karen, Sunshine, Julie, Joe, thanks for joining me live. Hi Melissa. Hi Judy, thanks for joining live. Hi Lily, good morning. Hi Lisa. Oh, Lisa's still working on her bag. Wonderful. Hi Vera, thanks for joining live. Hi Sherry. Sherry's making the smaller Shangri-La now. Wonderful. Hi DJ and Grace, Christy. Sunshine's getting ready for work while listening. That's good too. Good. Hopefully you get in a great mood for starting work. Good morning Thea. Hi Sherry. Good morning. Thanks for joining live. So yeah, if you're joining live, please say hello. We'd love to hear from you. If you want to tell me what you're crafting on, that would be great. If you have questions for me, that would be great too. I'm always open to answering questions live. If I have the answer, I will give it. If I don't, we can get back to it another time. Hi Patty, thanks for joining live. Good morning Jane. Yes Vera, it's very cold here. It's about 50 degrees and windy and damp. So quite a combination for being beachside before the sun comes up. Good morning Pauline, thanks for joining live. Hi Barbara, thanks for joining. Hi Connie. Connie's working on an Afghan this morning. How fun. Good morning Steve, thanks for joining live. Got lots of people here this morning. Thanks DJ. This is called Bonita Brave. It's a beautiful knit lace scarf that is a free pattern on my website and also has video tutorial here on YouTube. You can search for it by knit scarf, by Be So Brave yarn patterns, or you can search for it by name. It's called the Bonita Brave Bonita or Bonita Brave. Either way, both words will make it come up. It's a really beautiful textured lace stitch pattern that's super easy to work. It's a simple combination of stitches and then you offset it every other right side row. And then it has this gorgeous twisted fringe at the bottom. I know that I've taught you many different ways to do twisted fringe, and this is one of the simpler ones. This is where you take your fringe and twist it, and this is cut fringe, but it's twisted and then tied at the end. I've also done videos on how to do twisted fringe without cutting your yarn, so either way you could do that, and it just makes such a beautiful finish to the bottom of this scarf. It's a little bit longer, and that is why I did that so that I could wrap it like this. On a cold day, I really like to be able to wrap a scarf a couple of times around my neck, and if I wanted to, I could even. And this is another thing with long, durable fringe like this. When I say durable, I mean like the twisted fringe. Good morning. So you can use them for tying. So if the scarf is too short to tie the second time, you could actually use some of that fringe to tie it. Yes, the color is beautiful reflecting on the water. I'm going to have to tilt the camera a little bit so we can see more of it. Is that better? Yeah, so the sun's coming up over the buildings and the trees. That's higher than where I'm at, so the water is getting the sunlight first before I'll get it, which, lucky water, I'm freezing, but it'll get here soon enough. I'm going to turn the camera around so you can see all the brave souls out here with me this morning. So here's the beach to the south of us. And you can see there are a few people bundled up and walking. One guy sitting here reading. What a nice thing to do. And then you can see where the sun will be coming up over the buildings and the trees to the east. And got a few birds curious about what we're doing. Not many. And then here's the beach to the north of us. Hi Carol, thanks for joining from Arizona. Oh, did Trina say hi? Hi Trina and Ani, my sister and niece are joining us again this morning. How fun. Good morning Chantel. Did you notice the beautiful glow on the horizon this morning? Before we started the podcast, I did do a video of the whole water side and posted it to my Instagram story if you're interested in seeing that. It's as the sun comes up, those glowing colors simmer down a little bit. So if you want to see when it was really glowing when I first got here, just pop over to my Instagram story and you can see a quick video of that later today if you need a pick-me-up. Hi Sharon. Oh, thanks everybody for saying hi to Trina and Ani. That's so sweet. Sherry's making a tablecloth for her mom's 87th birthday. Wonderful. Someone's placing an order in my shop right now. Wonderful. Yes, Carol, I'm freezing. It's 50 degrees, windy and damp at the beach, and it's before the sun comes up. So you can, I'm sure you can imagine when there's no sunshine to even attempt to warm up the situation, it's even chillier. And of course I'm barefoot because I only wear flip-flops, so my feet and my hands are a bit chilly, but I'll be fine. It's only a half hour and it's been worse. I know you guys, some of you have been with me when it's been high 30s and low 40s down here. It was supposed to be 40s this morning. So I guess I'm lucky that it's only 50, or that it's at least 50. I don't think that I can tell the difference at the moment though. Hopefully you all are sitting indoors warm and cozy and just watching me be cold, and you aren't cold too. Oh, Christy, I wear flip-flops all the time. That's why. I don't wear socks and shoes. Hi Edna, thanks for joining live all the way from India. Got a few people from far distances this morning. That's so awesome. Karen says it's 24 in Ohio. Yeah, you've definitely got me beat, but you're indoors, I bet. Lily's got snow. Oh boy, be careful if you have to drive in it today. Oh, that sun looks so pretty on the waves. The waves sound great today too, don't they? They seem busy. They're coming at a frequent pace right now. 14 in Illinois for Grace. Brr. Jane has 36 in Ocala, Florida. Brr. Chilly, chilly. So, I don't know if any of you saw a blog post that I published last night, and if you're interested in finding it, you go over to my website and go to my blog. It'll be the oh, wait a second. Trina says it's 8 degrees in Michigan. Wow, I think you win, Trina. Wow, 20, 29, quite a bit. Lots of people having chilly weather. Well, make sure you bundle up nice and warm before you go out. Hats, gloves, or mittens, scarves, lots of layers. So, I did a blog post last night introducing the idea of gratitude journaling if you've never done any gratitude journaling before. Those of you that are familiar with it know it, I'm sure, very well, but I've had so many emails since I released the Create, Share, Inspire notebooks about how to gratitude journal, and it made me realize that if you've never heard of it before, it sounds really confusing and almost alien-like. It just does, it seems completely different from the things that we hear in the news and the things that we learn in TV and media, and I thought that it would be a good idea to really break it down and start from the beginning. And so if you've read any articles about it in the past, you are familiar with the fact that gratitude is a very, very powerful emotion, and the more in tune you are with gratitude, the better you feel. It's been scientifically proven to help with mental health, to help with physical health, and to just help with your self-esteem and just the way you feel. It's also helpful in making you feel more creative or making you more productive, making you have more energy. There are so many things that comes, it starts small, but it's like a snowball effect. And if you don't know how to do it, it can seem really intimidating. And the reason why it's hard to explain to people sometimes is because it's so personal too. What you like to focus on to feel grateful is maybe different from someone else. And where you start, there might be one facet of your life or one category of your life that feels like an easier segue for getting into gratitude journaling. The good news is whenever you get going with it, it opens up a floodgate, and it's easier to feel grateful for everything around you, but it's the beginning that can be really hard. So I broke down the blog post in three different chapters, sections, headers, whatever. And the first one, what was the first one? Let me think. Well, I talked about why gratitude journaling was important. Oh, and then I came up with some random, like, if it's not very inspiring to just write down the things you're supposed to write down, right? So you first think about gratitude journaling, you think, well, I gotta write down, I'm grateful for my family, I gotta write down, I'm grateful for my health, and you feel these obligation things, right? And it's not that they're bad things to be grateful for, but if you're not used to gratitude journaling, it can feel overwhelming that you've already given yourself a responsibility and this, and forcing yourself to do something that maybe doesn't feel inspiring. And so I started it with some random things that you might feel grateful for. Like, let's say you dropped your plate this morning and it bounced on the floor instead of breaking. Let's say you were trying to merge into traffic and the guy behind you, out of the blue, let you in. And so there are times throughout the day that little things happen, and it happened to your benefit and you don't understand why. Sometimes that can be something that can spark a feeling of gratitude that you didn't see coming. And I feel like sometimes it's those surprise things that could actually spark the inspiration. So I gave a couple of random samples, like I just said. What if you had buttered toast and you dropped it and it went butter, instead of going butter on the floor, it went butter side up? There's so many little random things that are little that could make you feel a small amount of joy, and then it can grow from there. So you just have to find your seeds of gratitude. When you find your seeds of gratitude and focus on them, it can help grow from there. So that was, I think that was the first section. Then the second section I talked about is things to help you think of ways to stay consistent. Anytime you want to make an improvement in your life, it's not about doing it one time, it's about doing it regularly. And in order to do it regularly, you have to find a way to be consistent that works for you. Not the person that's teaching you about it, not your friends, not anyone else. It has to work for you, right? So the second section of the blog post, I talked about picking a time that you think that would be easy for you to stay consistent with. Or a time of day, maybe it's right when you wake up, or during your first cup of coffee or tea, on your lunch break, when you're sitting in your car in a parking lot. Who knows, there might be something that you think that you do every single day that might be a good time to have that journal ready. The next thing I talked about in that section was, not sure I remember, but the one thing I also talked about, which I thought was really important, is giving yourself a doable amount of time or a doable amount of items. Maybe you just come up with one thing. Think of one thing. Or say, I'm only going to commit 1 minute a day to this. It's too overwhelming to think of committing any more than that, so I'm going to commit 1 minute a day or one item. And I think just committing to something, no matter how small it is, and doing that consistently, you will automatically see improvements and you'll feel better. And then from there, anything that makes you feel better, you want to do more of. So then it grows and snowballs from there as well. And then the third and final section of the blog post, I gave a really long random list of things that not only are the normal things that you could feel grateful for, like your family, your kids, your beating heart, the air you breathe, but then some of the things around you that you could be grateful for, and just a starting place, because I know how overwhelming it is to think of things to be grateful for when you feel overwhelmed. I have days like that too. We all do. And so I thought it would be a great idea just to have that list, because what if you're feeling one item in that long list ended up being the spark for you that day? Oh, people are losing connection. I'm sorry to hear that. It looks fine on my end. So that's the blog post in summary. If you're interested in any of that, or in the Create, Share, Inspire notebooks, all of that information is on the blog post that I just published last night. So it will probably show up on my Facebook page today. It'll probably show up on Pinterest today. Might even send out an email about it later today. So if you can't find it, maybe you can find it in those places. But if you go to my website, it's the top blog post you can see there. Does anybody have any questions about that, or the notebooks, or gratitude in general, or setting routines or setting habits for yourself? Anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, give my opinion. Here comes the sun, yay! Oh, Sherry, you saw it on Twitter. Yeah, I think Twitter automatically posts. Bye, Edna, see you tomorrow. Thanks, Lisa. I think there's some really great information there. Oh, great, Christy. I'm so glad. I know that it seems like a very abstract subject if you're not used to it, so I'm hoping that the blog posts shed some light on what it is, why to consider doing it, and why to, and how to do it. Thanks, Lisa. All right, everybody's saying goodbye to Edna now. Very nice. Hi, Danette. Thanks for joining live. So I got a bunch of beads shipped to me yesterday. I'm going to be taking some photos and putting together some fun kits with beads and yarn this week. So that should be, I should be able to announce that next week. I'm trying to feel warm, Danette. It's really cold here. It's about 50 degrees and windy, and the sun is not quite up yet. Very damp here, beachside too, so trying to stay warm in some down and some wool. It's mostly working. It's actually kind of exciting to be out in cold weather too. It's definitely a novelty for me. I rarely have cold days living in Southwest Florida, so it's fun to get bundled up sometimes, as long as it doesn't last too long. DJ's never used beads before. Ooh, that's a great point. Who here has not crocheted or knit with beads before? I would love to hear about that. And if you haven't crocheted or knit with beads before, are you interested in crocheting or knitting with beads? And that's coming to Florida soon. Wonderful. Yep, attitude of gratitude. That's a good one, Patricia. Ah, good. I see lots of people love beads. Lots of people are new to beads but interested. That's great. Okay, good. Lots of comments about this. Okay, so some of you already love to knit and crochet with beads. Some of you never have but are interested. Well, that's great for me to see. Then that means that when I come out with some kits and some patterns and some video tutorials, I think you might like them. Wonderful. All right, awesome. Yeah, beads can be so much fun, and there's so many different ways to use them, so it'll be fun to teach you all the things that I know about it. Yeah, and I have a bunch of yarn and bead kits available on my website already, like right now, and they're all beautiful and so fun, but I'm going to show you some more things too. Thanks, Jane. Yeah, I have some beautiful bead and yarn kits on my website. Really beautiful, and more coming soon. I think it can be intimidating when people don't understand the ins and outs of beads, and especially when you're trying to order by yourself without having someone put the kit together, because there are certain size beads that can't fit through, or that yarn can and can't fit through. There are certain size beading needles that can and can't fit through beads, or can and can't fit through yarn. So knowing the combination of the right bead for the right yarn with the right beading needle is pretty important, and it can be the difference between a really awesome, fun project to make and a disaster, stressful project to make, which can then turn into a successful finished project to wear or give as a gift or not. Oh, Judy says it's hard to pick beads. Yeah, that's why I think it's more important to have a bead a bead kit put together, especially from a designer like from me, because then I put everything together in yarns and beads that work well together. So I think that that will be really helpful definitely for beginners. If you're obviously an advanced beading person, that's totally different. Okay, I can't remember whose name said it, but someone said they're intimidated by stringing the beads on the yarn first, and that's a good point. And they're depending on the yarn, the bead hole size, the size crochet hook, or the size beading needle, you do or do not have to do that. Sometimes you can string the beads as you go, and there are projects that's a great beginner project if you're intimidated by stringing them. But if the yarn fits nicely on the yarn, if the bead fits nicely on the yarn, then it's not a big deal to string them and pull them along too. Hi Ava, thanks for joining live. So there's a lot of things to consider when beading, and we'll go over all that when I start doing some tutorial videos on that sort of thing. I'm going to have to turn the camera a little bit because looking straight into the sun it means I can't see you guys that well. Let's see if I can fix this. Remember, my tripod's a little broken, so I have to be pretty gentle with it as I set it up. Let's see, is that good? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I just need to look a little to the side of the sun, looking straight at it. I can't see it all. There, that's better. Yes, it's cold here. It's 50 and windy at the beach. It's a little more comfortable now that the sun's coming up, but that wind is pretty biting. When am I going to release this shrug pattern? Should be this week. It'll either be tomorrow or Monday. It'll be very soon. It's in the process of it right now. Do I have lotion bars in my online store? I don't have lotion bars right now, but I do have some lotion. I have my face cream, and yeah, I don't have fingerless gloves, and I didn't really think about it either. So many I'm not sure I kept up on the comments there. Sorry guys. If your question or comment is important, please feel welcome to leave it in the recorded version of the podcast, because there I have the ability to reply to everyone throughout the day. So even if you don't watch live and you watch the recorded version, please always feel welcome to comment and participate, because I do make a point to reply to all those comments throughout the day. If you enjoy the podcast, please consider giving it a thumbs up. I know YouTube really likes to see that type of interaction. So if you feel so inclined, I would appreciate a thumbs up for the video. If you want to share it with your friends, that's great. If you want to subscribe to my channel, you'll get email notifications when I've posted new videos. If you're new to the live podcast, you want to click that bell button right next to the subscribe button. And once you do that, it gives you pop-up notifications on your phone when I've gone live, so you can join in the live conversation, even if you didn't know how to before. Hi Dee, thanks for joining. Hi Marianne, thanks for joining live. Sharon, did I say hi to you yet? Yeah, the water does look really beautiful. I like how frequent the waves are this morning too. Sounds really nice. Janet has 28 in flurries. Brr! That's chilly. Does anybody have any other questions for me this morning? We've talked about the shrug patterns coming soon. We talked about some new beading kits. We talked about the Create, Share, Inspire notebooks and gratitude. What else? Had a busy morning. I didn't bring any yarn with me this morning to do any crafting here at the beach, but I figured it was going to be too cold for that. Oh, Danette thinks the texture of the wavy water would make a beautiful shawl. Definitely. Lisa wants to know if I'll be doing the mandala throw. Yeah, it's on the list. Sherry likes to crochet with beads. Cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Hi Lynn, thanks for joining live. Did I show the scarf I'm wearing? Yeah, I did show it a little bit. It's the Bonita Brave scarves, you can find the pattern on my website, and you can also find the video tutorials here on my my YouTube channel. And I think it's also embedded into the pattern page as well. What was I going to say? I was answering your question. And oh, the mandala throw. Yeah, the thing is, I've made one mandala motif in each of 2 colorways. I need to make 8 more before I can do the tutorial, so it's a lengthy amount of work, and I'll have to figure out how to fit that into my schedule, but it's definitely on the list for things to do. Definitely. I can't say it'll be out tomorrow or anything like that, but there's a lengthy amount of work to do to get that many multicolor motifs finished in order to do the tutorial, but definitely on the list. Definitely. It'll be so pretty. Yeah, just have to make 8 more of them in order to do it. I know, the things that we wish for, right? I could use 8 hands like an octopus. Wouldn't that be great? Imagine what I could get done with 4 pairs of hands. As long as my brain could handle all that activity. I wonder if your brain could. I bet it could. They say we only use, can I do the Shangri-La in 4 colors? Sure you could, Ava. I think somebody did on the Ravelry Crochet Along. There's someone on there that's done more. Well, yeah, they say that we only use like 10% of our brain, so if we had 4 pairs of hands, I would imagine that your brain could handle 4 sets of activities. It's possible. Or you'd have to do the same, but see, to make crochet motifs, we wouldn't even need that. If you could just get 4 sets of hands to do the same thing at the same time, that would be okay too. Because then you could make 4 motifs at a time. That'd be all right. For making motif designs, that would be awesome. Yeah, so either way would work. Oh, Marianne, I agree. I'm not so crazy about space heaters either. I don't think I'd use one. I'd rather bundle up too. Yeah, Julie, I've been talking about doing a tapestry crochet project with more than 2 colors, definitely. And maybe even switching to the single crochet version instead of the double crochet version so we can do more intricate designs. Where do I get all my ideas? Right here! Get them in my brain. I'm so lucky. That is definitely something that I'm grateful for. I have an unlimited supply of ideas right up here. And the more I talk about them, the more ideas I get. Like you've seen me ramble on here on the podcast. Someone asks one question about one thing and I go on a tangent of 10 other things. Danette says she has good taste. Well, I'm glad. That's wonderful. It's wonderful to have good taste. Even more wonderful if you believe you have good taste, because that means you have good self-esteem too. Very good. Well, we're almost out of time. Does anybody have any more questions for me this morning? No, Ava still likes to look at her Be So Baby sampler box. I get that. The colors look so pretty in there, and I organize the colors in a pretty color palette every time I send off one of those boxes. I don't know if any of you have noticed that when your Be So Baby yarn sampler box arrives, but those colors are not randomly put into your box. I sit there and put them in color order to make a pretty palette before I close up the box. That's just the way I am, but anybody that gets packages from me knows that. You know that I try to pack up things to make them look more like a gift from a friend than a store. So I get why Ava doesn't want to use hers yet because they look pretty. I get that because I like the way it looks too. But once you get inspired to try something, you'll get excited and you'll pull them out anyway. Or you'll leave it and buy new yarn to make projects. Do you notice that in a photo I posted lately? Yeah, I always, every time I pack up orders, I try to, even when I was sending out, when I send out the Shangri-La 4-ball order, I don't know if a lot of you ordered it, and thank you so much for ordering the Shangri-La bag yarn. But when I pack up the envelope for the Shangri-La yarn, you get 2 balls of 2 different colors, right? So when I open up the bag to put them in, I put color A on the bottom next to color B, and then I switch the order so it's color B and color A so that they look like this when you open up the bag. Has anybody noticed that in their packages that they've opened? Because I do that on every order. Lisa ordered the whole box plus 2 additional colors. Good idea. Yeah. It's so fun. Yeah, and then we'll do some 3-color projects next. It's going to be awesome. And then the Afghan, those mandalas, I can't remember if I used 4 or 5 colors in them. Can't remember off the top of my head. Peach, pink, orchid, diva, and it might be 5 colors in there. I can't remember. I don't need to remember off the cuff, that's okay. All right, not sure if there's any more questions, so I think I used 5. Yeah, thanks, Joe. Guess it's not crucial at the moment, but I think so. Hi, Anna Maria. Thanks for joining live. Yeah, Julie, that's a good idea. Buying a couple of the boxes, then you'll have really a lot of options for doing things with more than one ball of each color. I think that's a good idea too. All right, we are almost out of time, so let's take this last minute here to look out on this amazing view, soak in the colors and the sound of the waves, and set our intentions for the day. Thanks so much, everyone, for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the sound of the waves, chatting with me and everyone else here. If you like this podcast, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and click the bell notification button next to subscribe if you want to be notified when I go live. Let us make time to create